sing no more. I don't have the gift. I don't have the gift of singing. I got the gift of speaking, and that's what I do very, very well. I just speak. Go ahead and unmute your Zooms and all that other stuff since we got you on there, and I know that you can't. But listen, yeah. Was that a throwback or what?
I didn't get that gift for neither. The rest of my family got it. I got left out.
You got left out?
I got left out.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't have the lovely gift of voice of singing.
I wish I did. I tell you.
Can't do it, can't do it. I tried though. I tried. Now see, Roogle gonna say, you see that talk? You see that tell us practice makes it possible. Not right. Not perfect. not practice makes perfect. Practice makes it possible. So I better come up with some other type of gift. Just the gift to gab. That's what I got, the gift to gab. There.
My dad used to say he could sing tenor because all his brothers can sing. He got left out too. I can sing tenor. We was like, huh? He's like, yeah, 10 or 11 miles away from here.
That's funny. That's funny.
Like, really, Dad?
But you know what though? Macy Gray got a different voice. I need to find my voice. I need to find my voice.
You're right about that. She's definitely different.
See what I'm saying? Different. Listen, difference makes it possible. So Roogle on to something. Difference makes it possible. So Roogle is definitely on to something. Definitely on to something. All right, let's just jump right into this stuff. We already know, see what I'm saying now? Roogle talking about Keyshia Cole.
You wrong.
A lot of people don't think she can sing though.
Really?
There is a lot of people that think that Keyshia Cole cannot sing.
Her and Ashanti just signed for the next versus battle on Instagram.
What?
Yeah, they've been having all these versus battles.
Well, so, I saw a few and I was for it, but
yeah, her and Ashanti getting ready to do one.
What does Ashanti have though?
Just a few hits that I know of.
What few?
Well, you know, she did what was that one album I have? Concrete Rose. The one she did before that, Baby, that was mixed with Scarface and Tupac when he did Hail Mary, or not Hail Mary. It was a different one, or was it Hail Mary?
Okay, Nick bought two of her albums.
Yeah, well, the second one I bought. The first one I just had a couple of songs, but then she, was with Murder Inc.
I just like Roogle said, I just liked her with Ja Rule.
Right.
Like singing the hooks. And that's what I knew, but not to just go and say, okay, well, I'll buy your album. But the same thing with what's that one hit that Keyshia Cole had? Keyshia Cole had a
Love,
hit.
or
is that the one everybody was singing?
She had Love, when she first came out. That was one big one. And then she had the one I want to say with Missy Elliott. I can't think of it. I have to look in my playlist because I got a couple of her songs.
Oh, well, go ahead. You go to musicology.
And then her and Monica got one together.
What'd you say?
Her and Monica have one together. I can't think of the name of that one. I'll have to look it up.
I'm so mad at the internet with Monica because every time somebody says Monica's name, I just see those white shoes. So, yeah. Love, that was it. That was Love. Everybody wanted to sing Love. Anybody that couldn't sing, they could sing that song.
Either that or I Should Have Cheated. Her very first one.
I know that one. I remember they had like an American Idol type thing, or was it American Idol search down at the Cavelli Center in the hometown in Youngstown. It was so funny. Listen, we went. I took my child out there to sing that song. Got up there and gonna start acting shy. I said, now we ain't waiting this line this long. And you get up here and you acting like you can't sing no Keisha Cole. Everybody was there. Everybody was there. It was so packed. All right, let's talk about the vaccines. Let's jump right on into this with the vaccines. Previous presidents decided to step up and be the first to take the vaccine, the coronavirus vaccine. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, I applaud them, but I ain't taking that vaccine. Like I said before, I wake up with a third eye. No, thank you.
Well, President Obama, President Bush, and President Clinton said that they would do it. They would do it
because they
first
know the president
to show that they believe in science.
Right.
So, what's your thoughts? Really, what's your thoughts on that?
Roogle just said.
I heard what he said. I'm asking you. I'm asking you. I heard what he said. I'm asking you. What's your thoughts?
I really think they need to wait a little. Everybody really needs to wait a little bit longer. They need to tweak that. Find something. Test it on a snake or something first. Test it on some alligators. Something.
Okay, so they need lab rats. Now, Roogle, I saw what you put where you said that. What did you say? It's a wrap if something happened to President Obama. It better work. That's hilarious. I know it better work. I'm like, because that's
my thing is the side effects, though. That's what's scary, because I was reading where one of the side effects is now, I guess, if you take it, one of the side effects, possibly you're more prone to catch HIV.
Well,
what kind of side effect is that?
Well, I mean, like, the side effect that particular side effect, here it is it will decrease your immune system.
Right.
So that's pretty much what it is. I mean, if you with somebody that got HIV, it's not like you'll walk past somebody and be like, boom, here you go. Now you got it. But they have to put all of them, all of the side effects. Let me see the way that they are distributing it. Healthcare. Yeah, that's what we were talking about before, where they wanted the healthcare workers first. I'm not interested. Honestly, right. I'm not interested. And I need to see what's really going on, because I'm still a little skeptical with the flu vaccine, because with the flu vaccine, honestly, with the flu vaccine, you don't even know if that's the strain. So is that going to be the same thing with coronavirus? Is it going to be a different strain each flu season? Because it too is a virus. So we just really don't know.
Right.
We just really don't know. But you said you're not doing it. You said practice it on a mammal, huh? Try it on a mammal first.
Please do. Don't try it on me. Try it on a mammal first. Like I said, I don't got time to be having no third eye. I ain't got time for my immune system to be compromised. That's, to me, is just crazy. They need to tweak it a little bit better. I could see if they said one of the side effects is extreme diarrhea and extreme nausea and migraines. I'll take that, because you can get medicine to do something about those. But compromising your whole entire immune system, that's not good. That's just no. Whoa, no.
I read somewhere where it was they were saying it's like 96% effective. I said that's not good enough for me, because here's the deal. I need like a paternity test, because you can't do
99.99999%.
Right. Now here's the thing, because with paternity tests, They ain't accept. That's not acceptable. 96% is not acceptable to say somebody is the father. So no, no, sir, no, ma'am, I'm not interested.
Right.
Roogle, I missed yours. I know you got a lot of noise going on right now, but she can't read that fast. That's why I gotta have the DVR. I'll be like, wait, when they do the catch ups or the what's that? You know, when they give you the brief summary after a show, I'll be watching like the
Right.
Steve Wilkos or something like that. And then they tell you if they're together. I'm like, wait, DVR, rewind it. Look, it went too fast. Let me see what's going on with that relationship. So that's what happened with yours, Roogle. So if you could put it back up, I'll be sure to pay attention this time. The issue is that if it works, world government come together to end other diseases. Yeah, they don't want to do that.
Probably not,
Okay,
because then that would kill the pharmaceutical companies.
true, true. And if you want to join in this conversation, feel free to do so. I'll read your comment out loud as I do. Listen, there was a nurse in Minnesota. The nurse was fired from the hospital, and Cliff was the name that just stuck in my head. The nurse was fired from the hospital because dealing with the coronavirus patients, they had uniforms. Now, some of the hospitals do offer uniforms for you. So you change clothes. Like if you're on the maternity ward, you have to, because I remember we had to do that. You know, you take your clothes off, you put on their uniform. That way to prevent you from stealing the baby, I guess. And you had to change uniforms. Well, in this particular hospital, the guy from Minnesota, you guys can look it up. They changed uniforms. They had them available for them. And what ultimately ends up happening is, I guess the hospital, the turnaround wasn't fast enough dealing with people, you know, the COVID patients. And they were telling the staff, the nurses, to wear their own uniforms and take them home and, you know, wash them at their house. And they're like, no, because they don't want to be taking it to their, you know, first of all, whatever you bring from home is going to go to the hospital, especially if we're, you know, and you supply these uniforms for us. And then you want me to take it home to possibly give it to my family as well, because it says it's on, they didn't actually, they still don't know, but what was out, the last time I read it was 72 hours on objects, you know, like it can live on objects. So they fired this man because he refused to wear his uniform. He kept wearing the hospital uniforms. I'm not mad at him. So then he had to go before the Board of Nursing. They're talking about stripping his license, but the union, and this is a union question. I hate that you can't come on right now, Roogle, because I know you know the answer to it. The union actually stepped in on his behalf. So what they say, I didn't see any precautions regarding the laundry staff, but if this is something that you offer and you offer uniform, this is what we do. And then all of a sudden, they couldn't get the turnaround. I think it was the turnaround. I really believe that it was actually, they couldn't, you know, the laundry people couldn't get it back fast enough. But do you think that he was wrong for not wanting to wear his own scrubs to come in there, or to possibly purchase scrubs? Because if the hospital already supplied it, why would you have to, you know what I mean, wear your own, then come in here and then I have to deal with the patients and then possibly take it home, and you're putting the patients at risk, bringing whatever you have, all your mess, and look, all your coffee stains and tea stains that be rolling up in there, you know, from the house, and then also taking it home and doing your laundry with your laundry, you know what I mean? Or possibly, look, your water bill gonna go up if you do it separate.
Right.
But do you think that he really do you think he has a case?
Yes, he does, because that's ridiculous. I mean, it's the equivalent to me of walking around without a mask on. Like, really? Don't nobody want to be bothered with that. If you said you're supplying, I don't care about the turnaround time. Hire some more people in laundry, send the stuff out, whatever you got. Just contract to one person, whatever you got to do. If you say you supplying them uniforms, supply them. Well, I mean, because it's like, now it's to the regard that they don't care about their workers and their families.
Now, here's a point. Let's say someone has a pet and then you go into the hospital and they have an allergy, pet dander, dog allergy, whatever. So he's right. You're putting the patient at risk as well, because when we go, we wear our uniform, you don't know who has a pet and who doesn't. And then
Right.
you're sitting there, you're immune compromised, and here comes some cat hair flying in the air off of somebody else's
Exactly.
uniform. So, you know, I don't think he's wrong. Keontae said that, oh, he's not wrong at all. How is it fair that the hospital try to make their problem his? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Keontae. Okay, Roogle, you said, okay, I don't think he was wrong. Insubordination is hard. Now, that's what they're trying to say, and they're trying to snatch his license. They're trying to snatch his license. Now, there was some other nurses that was on his side, and then the others just complied because they had to feed their families. But if you're dealing with somebody with an immune compromised system, and you're bringing whatever you have at your house, because do y'all eat at the potluck? I don't eat at the potluck because I don't trust them people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is not clean. So I'm not doing it. But whatever they're bringing from home, they're bringing in there just so that, you know, to make sure that they can actually support their family. But he's right. He has a fight. To me, he has a right. Let's see. Brent says, don't use him as an example. And that's exactly what when I read that article, I felt like it was more so like a pissing contest. Yeah, they used him as an example because he was smart and cared about others first. You're absolutely right, Britt. Thank you for that comment. I think that she's right. And it was a pissing contest when I was reading it. And I said, I think they were just kind of like upset. Yes, it was. He asked the question, was using hospital uniforms, was that common practice? That was it, common practice. Then they just changed it because they couldn't, the turnover was slow, put it that way. They couldn't get them in and out because of what happened with COVID. We know it just kind of like ran rapid, boom, went on through, and it's like, okay, remember we didn't have enough beds. Remember New York City, how they had like little satellite areas. And remember when people were dying, they were just throwing the bodies in the trash can. It had become overwhelming. And that's why Uncle DeWine is trying to tell y'all to wear your mask. Wear your mask, wear your mask. Let's try to slow this thing down. And I believe President-elect Biden was saying if we wear the mask at least for 100 days straight, we could slow it down. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think everybody been wearing their mask. Some folks been wearing their mask the whole time. Some of them are still talking about it's infringing on their rights. What rights? Because you keep running around here, your behind gonna get it, and then what? You gonna be right to be dead in that casket? I mean, what more do they want? Y'all gonna be the next ones to catch it. Or I seen somebody arguing on Facebook yesterday and said, well, how about the people who are immune compromised stay home? How about you stay home? How about that? Because even if the people that are immune compromised stay home, you still got all these other idiots running out here thinking it's infringing upon their rights, and they're going to be infecting each other, infecting their family, and then what?
And usually people who are immune compromised, they do stay home unless they're working or have to go out for the essentials. And then it's like, wait, what? And those people that are immune compromised are more susceptible to getting it a lot faster. Mm-hmm. I did go to the grocery store and I did see a guy, I was telling you guys about it, that went up there. I was just really surprised that people weren't wanting to wear their masks. And I'm still surprised that many people don't wash their hands. That is nuts to me. And yes, you're right, Britt. A lot of people don't think it's real until they are affected by it.
That don't surprise me because I know a couple people that'll go in the bathroom, do what they gotta do, wipe, and then walk out the bathroom without washing their hands.
That is so odd to me. I just think that's disgusting. But besides that, when I was up at the grocery store, I wanted to see what happened. Y'all know I wanted to see what happened. So this guy walks in, or girl, anyway, she walks in. I'm thinking she identifies as a woman. she walks in and she was like, I'm not wearing a mask. Like that, right? So I look, I moved on the way because I'm all geared up, but I need to see what's going to happen. Now, how to go
Right.
handle this up at the Giant Eagle. And the guy that was working Giant Eagle, he was standing on the side. He was like, oh, okay. He hit that button so fast, I didn't even realize that he hit the button. Security came over, and then he was like, I'm not putting on a mask. And he said, we're not serving you. Have a good day.
Exactly. You
I
got
was
to be
like, let me push my little card. I said, okay. And then he looked, and the one young lady, she had a mask and she gave it to him. Then I saw him down, in the back part of the store. He just had the mask in his hand, or she had the mask in her hand. And I just looked and I'm like, that's nuts. But in my mind, I feel like people who are adamant about not wearing masks, in my mind, I just think that you must have it. Ah!
I was going to break it out.
Go ahead, break it out, girl. Break it out.
In my mind.
It's that time. It's definitely that time.
But, yeah, and that's where I think if you are refusing to wear a mask, like, yeah, and it's hard to catch people, but yeah, those refusing to wear a mask, if you are out here intentionally knowing that you have it, intentionally not wearing a mask, spreading it, they should hold that as the same regard they do with people intentionally spreading AIDS. Jail time.
And see, here's what's sad about it. With this particular virus, you can't see it. You know what I'm saying? Versus like with AIDS. So I hear your point. With AIDS, you have a choice. This one is to me a little more scarier because it's like, I just walked past you. What do you mean? We just walked past each other and then you're going to give me this. Byron said that he said using the bathroom and not washing your hands is Kanaski.
Exactly.
And Keontae, she agrees with you, Nick, as far as like, there has to be something to be done and said to this, because you have the people saying that it's against their right. And Britt, I see you. Britt, she commented, she said that those are selfish people. And I feel the same way, very selfish people, because they're telling you this is how you prevent it, but you choose not to do. And for the immunocompromised person, the one that said that immunocompromised people need to stay at home, that's a lot of nerve. Like, I'm going to speak to that. That's a lot of nerve because you can't.
Oh, they went in on her.
But here's the thing, you can stay home, but there's things that you have to do. But why don't you just protect others? Just protect others. If you don't care, just protect others. Nobody's trying to be going there and being sick and possibly being on a ventilator and all that extra stuff because you don't want to wear a mask and it's going against your right. It's nuts. It's nuts.
See, this is what's going to happen because I went on her page.
Don't tell me you're stalking the people, Nick. Don't tell me you're stalking.
Yes, I do. She has a child. Now you running out here talking about telling people to stay home and you don't feel like wearing a mask. Your child end up sick and dying. They need to charge that mama. That's what I'm saying. They need to start charging these people. You don't want to go and comply. Okay, and if a family member of yours gets sick and they find out it came from you, you need to be charged. Period, point blank, end of conversation. If you don't care about nobody else, care about your own. Care about your child. If you don't care about nobody else, at least care about your own. Wear your mask. Period.
And for those who have an issue with being tested, tell me, oh, it hurts. Oh, it's gonna go, all the way up. Does it really touch your brain? It doesn't really touch your brain. Yes, you have to get tested. I would prefer to be tested, honestly. Let me be tested so that I know. We have to be tested every 3 days. Every 3 days we have to be tested, which I can appreciate that because you don't want to go in and say, okay, well, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go to work and hopefully I didn't have it and I passed it to somebody else. You don't want to deliberately pass something to someone else, but you want to help people. And I'm going to put this out here. When you go in, so that nurse in Minnesota, I'm with you 110%. When you get tested on Monday when I got tested, you know, it's like, oh, okay, here you go, negative. All is well, boom, everybody good. Then it's like, okay, I got to go back and get tested, you know, that third day because, well, I got tested before, but, you know, my results came, you know, Monday. So you do every 3 days. And I was getting ready to go to work for this weekend, so I had to go back to get tested on Wednesday because it has to be 3 days before you go, you know, go in. Surprise. So when you go to help these people that have COVID, you don't know. You're like, okay, who was the last person that I was with? I know what patients I was with. I know these people have COVID. No, they didn't want it. And you go on in and it's like, okay, I'm trying to help you and provide care. And then you end up being positive.
Right.
That's not what I wanted to hear. I was like, what? So now I have to quarantine for 10 days. And it's like, okay, now I got to quarantine, make sure, boom, I'm drinking the warm stuff, blah, 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 blah. But that's not what I wanted. When I sat there and looked, I was like, wait, what?
Huh? Exactly. You get ready to be a nana. You want to be able to go see your baby.
It ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. But it's people like that, not saying that the patients that I've seen, I don't know if they wear a mask or not, you know, but let's hope and pray that they did and not just very careless like the young lady, the ma'am, sir, at the grocery store that was like, I'm not wearing a mask. And then you got people like me that's on the front line and we're caring for you. And then we end up with it.
And, it's like, there was a couple of healthcare workers that spoke up as well. Like, what do you mean stay home? Okay, you have healthcare workers that are out here taking care of people. Are they supposed to stay home just because they're immune compromised? So, you know, and like at work, they're adamant about that as well because there are a couple of us that are immune compromised. So, and then my crazy behind, sometimes I get ready to walk in the store and be like, girl, you better turn around and go back, get that mask and stay. But yeah, I mean, it's scary, especially when you're immune. It's scary if you're not immune compromised, but it's 10 times scary if you know that your immune system is compromised to a lot of things. And so like, yeah, every once in a blue moon, you might see me out, but I've been trying to stay in the house with everybody unless I have to go.
Stay in the house. You have, you do have people, let me clear this up for those who don't understand what immune compromise is. Some of the disorders and chronic care illnesses, which we're talking it's not just, okay, somebody that might have HIV, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, those are autoimmune disorders, okay? Let's talk about high blood pressure. Let's talk about diabetes. We're going to talk about all of that, you know, that plays a part. And when it first happened, was I afraid to be like, oh, I don't want to be bothered with none of these people? But when you decide, okay, I'm in the healthcare field, I'm here to help you and assist you, let me try to save your life. But here's the thing, when I'm trying to save your life and then now I end up with this because you don't want to wear a mask, that's not okay. That's not okay. And even though you know it, it's like, okay, boom, here we go. And a lot of people know that I'm a type 1 diabetic. So if you see my little thing right there, that's what that is on the back. Look, yeah, I can just check and see what blood sugar is.
And I have 2 things working against me, rheumatoid arthritis
do you?
And diabetes. Yes. So it's like,
and it's not like we could win and signed up for it and be like, oh, you know what? I'll take rheumatoid arthritis for $300, please. You know, these are things that happen. So that young lady that said, people that's immunocompromised, they don't need to go anywhere. No, you need to just make sure you cover up. Let's just do it. Let's work together.
Exactly.
Let's work together and just do what we have to do. So when you, for the people that don't believe that it is real, I am here to tell you that it is real. It is real because, like I said, I work with COVID patients, and I too, right now, positive, detected. I was shocked. Trust and believe. And I know my sister is listening right now. She probably don't know. I just got my results yesterday. So y'all keep us, keep our sister in prayer, okay? Some people have different effects.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? As far as being detected or always non-detected. And then all of a sudden it was detected. I was like, wait a minute, that's a bold, wait, what, huh? And I can track it back because I don't travel. Like I said, Monday I was good to go. Boom, negative. Hey, I go to work Tuesday. And then bam, they was like, oh, you got to be tested. Yeah, I got to be tested anyway because I got to go to work, and I'm like, I can't come. I have to make sure that I quarantine for 10 days. So I got to be in the house for 10 days. I'm about to redo the whole website. Give me something to do. But even if you feel you have come into contact with somebody that may be positive and you don't know, you want to do your warm water, warm tea, vitamin C, zinc, B complexes. That's always good. That's a lot of the nurse practitioners are prescribing now, for people that are coming up positive, they're prescribing zinc, vitamin C, and B complex. I talked to a few of my friends. So I was like, oh, let me go ahead and grab this. So just keep that immune system, build it. These are all immune system builders. So just go ahead and do what it is that you need to do for you. In this cup, I got the good stuff. It's warm. It's warm. I got that.
Right.
I got everything here. I got my water. Stay hydrated. Do what it is that you have to do. Even if you check me out on Be Inspired, lemon water, boom, boom, boom. You got to do what it is that you have to do. Dr. Mimi, Dr. Camila is on, and she said, please eat real foods and get away from the processed packaged stuff. So I'm going to adhere to that. I don't think I have no processed packaged stuff after the last show you did. Dr. Camila, look, after the last show you did, everything was like done.
Roogle said honey was good.
Yeah. And honey is
what I have been doing, was every now and then I'll get I get oranges, limes, lemons, take the peel, put it in some hot boiling water with
the lemon
salt
peel
or the sea salt, the lemon peel, and boil that around my house. And every now and then, I'll go and that's what I've been doing this whole time. And every 15-20 minutes I'll go and I'll stand over that thing for about 5 to 10 minutes and just inhale that. I ain't playing. Because with me being like my autoimmune, my system is compromised, double whammy. Just my luck, I'll be the one to end up 6 feet under and with no family around. I can't.
Well, we don't pray that doesn't happen. We don't want that, but I do want to give a face. I want to give a face. Everyone who is COVID positive, they are not on a ventilator. They are not in the hospital. You're quarantining, and right now, here's this face. Asymptomatic, meaning no symptoms. Who does that? So I really was like, I'm about to go make my money. What are you talking about? It was like, not, boom, boom, hold up. Whoa, something wrong. So I did what I had to do, which is my low warm stuff, and I'll continue. And Dr. Camila, I am going to make sure I eat properly so I don't end up in the hospital, because I'm not trying to do that. Look, I'm not trying to do that. But everybody, just because people look good doesn't mean that they don't have it. I'm a prime example. I'm telling you, I got the results yesterday. I was like, what? Something wrong. Y'all done messed up. And then they call you afterwards. So they'll call you to make sure that you got it, because if you know me, I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, let me see what does this say? Because I got my chart. I'm looking through there like, wait a second. So they call you to verify that you did receive it. And I said, yeah, I got it. And she was the one that called me. She said, is this Melanie? I was like, yeah, this is her. And she was like, did you get the results? And so I had to give her my information to verify. She was like, you don't sound like I said, what do you sound like? So, you know what I mean? So just looking at people and thinking like, oh, okay, well, they seem fine. And just because somebody has a cough doesn't mean anything.
Thank you.
You got
I
to watch.
have
You have to watch because you have different coughs. You got the asthma cough, you got all that other stuff.
right.
But take precautions. Take precautions. Yes, Byron, you are absolutely right. It affects different people differently. Totally does. It affects you differently. Now, any other questions? Anybody have any other questions or anything on this topic? We all came to a common sense is that this nurse was not wrong. Cliff, you was not wrong, Cliff in Minnesota. But it's sad that he has to go before the board. Well, you want to snatch his license because he decided he chose safety? I think that's something.
Right. Listen, I will fight that all the way to the Supreme Court.
Wait a minute, he just started working at the job October of 2019. That's probably why they fired him. It's like, listen, you just got here. We've been doing this and we've been running this the way we've been running it. And here you come, October of 2019. And then March came, and I want to say like April, May is when all that happened. But I'm not upset with him at all. Do what it is that you need to do for you and look out for the safety of yourself and others. It's important.
So I don't care if he did just start the job. I don't care if he did just start the job. The simple fact is we didn't have to deal with that then. We're dealing with it now.
And they offered the scrubs for you. And then all of a sudden you're like, we're running low, so I'm gonna need you to just wear your uniform outside. So, and if you work in a hospital where you change uniforms, you probably didn't even buy any. So now you got to go and purchase with your paycheck, your COVID check, purchase uniforms to wear in there to bring whatever you have at the house. And like I said before, I don't fool around with the potlucks. So if you bringing cat dander and dog dander and fur and all that stuff in there, somebody having an allergic reaction, and then you come to find out you're the reason, you're the one that caused them more stress. No.
That's crazy.
So, you know, I'm with him. Let's move on to Pastor Jamal Bryant.
Oh, Lord, what he do?
What he's doing him. He's doing him. And to me, I just feel like, you know, and I'm going to touch bases on this because other bloggers was talking about Jamal Bryant and they worried about what his penis is doing, okay? Let the man go. You just don't sleep with him. Don't sleep with him if that's the case. Well, one blogger, I can't think of her name right now, but her problem was, I can't have a pastor that sleep with all these different women. Well, what if somebody said I can't have a member in my congregation that's sleeping with all these type of men?
If it's a problem,
that unfair?
Don't go to the church. Find another church home.
No, that's true, but is that unfair?
Very unfair.
So we hold pastors to a higher standard, clearly. And for those who don't know, Pastor Jamal Bryant is now the pastor of, New Birth. It was Pastor Eddie Long.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In Atlanta. So that's what he's doing. And not justifying his actions at all. I'm not. And he also was with Tweet. So he kind of liked that little wretchedness, you know what I mean? Because he was with Tweet too. So you look at Giselle Bryant, and they're saying that it is a fake, a storyline for the Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm a Real Housewife of Potomac fan, and I like Giselle. And so they're trying to get back together, and they're saying that it's fake, and now he's dating a minister at his church also, as well as with Giselle. Shout out to Pastor Jamal Bryant, you know, Morehouse, Duke University. He did it. 49-year-old. You would think, listen, 49, Nick, you would think that was, I thought he was a lot older.
Right.
I thought he was a lot older, but 49 years old, doing it up. And they were talking about how a lot of the women, they paid them off with the church's money. But there is an insurance that churches have for pastors who kick it with people in the congregation. Here's
Wow.
Remember we talked, do you remember when we talked about that?
Mm-hmm.
So like if you think you're gonna fall down, it's Christmas time and you're gonna fall down on the steps, that's some insurance. Don't do it, people, because it ain't right. And there's also the insurance of if you think you're gonna fall down and he slide. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that insurance is in there. And he's a nice looking pastor. I don't think so. Like he's not my type, but he dressed nice. He
And
dressed
you
nice.
know, truth be told, he's not the first pastor, and he definitely won't be the last.
It happens more often than not. And some of the people, look, the peepists, shout out to Joe Teague, said that pastors need to practice what they preach. I see you, Byron. I see you. Practice what you preach. And pastors are held to a higher standard because they know, but somehow people tend to forget that they are men. Not justifying it, just for the sake of conversation. So talk back to me, people. Talk back to me.
I mean, because they have to deal with, like you said, that everybody holding to a higher standard. Then they have to deal with they little man and they subconscious telling them, especially if they see, I mean, it's natural if you see a woman, especially if a very attractive woman, you know, if you're a man, you gonna look. Even the pastor, you know, you gonna look. So they have to deal with that and fight with themselves on that. So I see both. See both sides of the fence. It's kind of rough because yes, you can't be in the pulpit telling somebody they wrong for fornicating, and then you turn around and you fornicate.
Now, have you noticed this? Have you noticed that?
But
some people in I call them the pimp and praise. You know what I mean? You pimping Saturday night, you praising Sunday. You have hey. Is it okay, let me ask this question. Is it because you know some pastors personally, so you know that they're men? Or is it because they're in a position of leadership? Some people don't even like them. They just like being in a position of, that's like the popular guy. You know what I mean? If you take it back to school, like, okay, that's the captain of the football team. I need to get that guy. So you have all these women that are coming, like the pastor that we had on the show months ago. Nice looking guy. Look at you. So funny. So funny.
Yes, very nice looking.
Nice looking guy. But he said that his congregation, when he first got there, it was the fastest growing congregation. You know, like I know, they was going to see who is this single pastor. Who is this single pastor? And do they really want to be with the individual? Have you ever saw Greenleaf? Now on there, do you remember when the first lady?
No, like every once in a while.
The first lady, I think his name was it Basie Skanks? And the wife, she was like, yeah, you passing out butter. She was passing out butter cookies. Like once you step down and you're not the first lady anymore, people don't hold you to a higher standard. So a lot of women, let's go with Giselle. Giselle, she has herself already. This is who she is. She's already established herself as Giselle Bryant off of the Real Housewives of Potomac. But I'm sure she felt, and I hate to use this term, but on a pedestal because she was the first lady, and now trying to be back with him to get that, you know, get the accolades, get all the perks of being a first lady. But it's like, why? Why? Go on and just serve them butter cookies and do what
my
you
friend
do and call it a day.
Right. My friend was first lady. Lady. Her and her husband are not together anymore. And ooh, child, I just cracked up. I was like, girl, how did you do it? She said it was very hard. She was like, trust me, it was hard because you know how I am.
A lot of first ladies get cheated on, but they won't walk away because they don't want to be passing out 4-ounce cups of juice and butter cookies in Sunday school. So they deal with it. Speak to that.
She
What's your
didn't.
thoughts on
She was
that?
like, bye. Yeah, I'm not, I can't, especially if it's like on a regular basis. I don't care if you are the pastor, you got to go. I mean, because you're not going to be making me look crazy. And people in the congregation going to talk. Got to go. Because that's too much pressure to put on anyone, but especially somebody that everybody, like you said, is holding to a higher standard. That's why, I would ask her. She just was open with a lot of stuff and let me know what was going on as their home life that none of the congregation would see, because he was making everything seem like it was all good, and he was lovey-dovey with the first lady, with his wife, my loving wife, and this and that. But then at home,
Publicly.
right, publicly in church, but then at home, they in separate rooms, and he was being mean, and she was like, "You must not know who I am." Peace.
But then they don't want a divorce.
They a little grieving and everything, but she hadn't stepped out and was talking to anybody or anything. Next thing you know, they got divorce papers less than 2 months from the time they separated. They were divorced, and he was remarried.
Was he remarried to somebody else he was with?
Probably. The story that I got is that his mother hooked him up, and his mother was the associate pastor. She is a minister. So they've been talking. Like, really? So yeah, my friend was hurting behind that, but honey, she bounced back. She got over it. But yeah, she was like, there is no way. She was like, he had to be talking to this person a while. His mom like hooked him up that quick, and they just got married. She was like, nah. And then she found out somebody that used to be her best friend when her husband was working at one place midnight. And the pastor was counseling people on the phone, her best friend, and she didn't know anything about it, but they would be on the phone every night, and he would be counseling her. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, best friend.
Listen, we know about that counseling. See, I got a whole lot of friends. I get along better with guys, and y'all know that. But and I got a lot of pastor friends, so y'all get at me, and I know y'all gonna text me. I see my texts going on my phone. They like, but you do have a lot of pastors that will go and counsel people looking for the wife, looking for a wife, and it's like, one finally fell for it. But what you were saying, I want to go back and speak to when you were saying how your cousin was being treated mean at home. There is First Ladies Club. You're like, huh? Yes, Roogle, there's a First Ladies Club where a lot of First Ladies meet together for support. Because guess what? Their spouses, their husbands are mean to them at home. See, now I'm going to speak to me real quick. I couldn't do it because you cannot mistreat me and think I'm going to be outside. Listen, I'd be like Melania. Okay? You want to sit there and be walking around and reaching back and grabbing my hand, get your hand up out of here. We just got into it. Stop it. Like, no, publicly, I'm not going to act this way. And this is how this is at the house. It's not going to work. They'll be like, where your wife at? Oh, she ain't come. Yeah, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not. What you see is what you get. What you got, Roogle?
The whole counseling thing. I don't know. I want to go into that, but I'm just going to talk about that whole dynamic. It's something when you. I would say the whole issue about the you a very popular person. Shop Talk with Mel. You popular, right? So when you go out, people know who you are, right? You have conversations with.
I do.
right? I don't know if she.
I got you. Go ahead.
She paused. It's quick. Now she's froze.
I got you. I
Okay.
hear you.
Okay, so
She got-
when you popular like you are, you talk to a lot of people, right? So somebody who with you, they can't be offended that you have conversations with folks. And I think what happens when you have that preacher wife dynamic is that being that shepherd of that flock spreads you so thin that I think that maybe there's an issue with that. Like, how do you balance your work life, your work life situation when you're a pastor, when at any moment somebody could be dying, at any moment, you know, or someone's wanting counseling, or something's going on where you have to come to the aid of someone or the community as a whole, you know, in some situations, you know.
Best friend.
Huh?
Listen. Best friend didn't need to be counseled every night while he was on his midnight job. Come on now. Speak to the people. You didn't need counseling every single night while he had.
Personal.
He got office hours for that. I do understand when, like, late at night you have a congregation member in the hospital about to die, and they need you to come out and pray and certain things like that. But that right there was personal.
I didn't hear the whole thing. I don't know if I understand the whole story. I just
she's just saying that's personal. But see, that's when you are a spouse, I would think, of a clergyman, and somebody call at 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I'm gonna need. I need a wig. I got to give me a wig. I got to give me a prayer wig, okay? And so what a prayer wig is when your husband get that call in the middle of the night that, we got to go up here to the hospital, or I got to go pray for this person. You go snatch your prayer wig, throw it on, shift it, and be like, we have to go pray.
But
Exactly.
Like you said, clergymen. Let's just say clergy. So what if the woman is the pastor and she is counseling all these folks and around the clock?
Okay.
I mean,
Same thing.
You know, let's not.
Well, you gotta get yourself a hat then.
Yeah.
And then you go with your spouse, and y'all go and pray for these sick people.
Or a real tight fade every day, right?
Yes.
But I still think it. You know, you gotta trust the person you're with.
Yeah, but let me tell you something about love. Yeah, but let me tell you something about the females. Listen, you trust them. They ask you 9,000. They ask you 9,000, and it's like, okay, their ultimate goal. I'm a female, and a female. If we want something, we set out for something. Nick, no, talk to them. If you set out for something and you want that, you're gonna go get it. And most people, honestly, and this is for the fellas out there. I'm talking to y'all right here. Look, I drinks a lot. On to the next one.
Right.
Y'all is like, what? On to the next cup. But when you, as a female, when you set out, some females seek out to destroy another female. Only because, and guys are foolish, because y'all will fall for it. It's like, okay, if this female don't like that female and they think that, okay, well, she thinks she all that, I'm gonna get her man, watch this. And it won't even be to like y'all. It would be just to knock that female because you put her on the pedestal, to knock her down and say, she thought she was all that, but I had her dude. And then guess what? A sister like me, I'm out. Boom, deuces. You did what? You that weak? You fell for it? I'm out. No, there is no go back. No go backs. No.
I'm out, but not until I knock you inside your head first.
Look at her. She violent, talking about what she gonna do. I ain't gonna do that because you know what that tells me? That tells me you're a weak man, and I'm not attracted to a weak man. It ain't
that he succumbed. Huh? He's a weak man because he succumbed to the woman's.
Yes.
Well, hey, even if you go back to biblical days, even David had his problems, but he was still a man after God's heart. You know what I mean?
And that's not. And look, listen, that's nice. I ain't saying they got to be after God's heart. You can do be after God's heart.
Solomon.
I ain't doing it.
You know, Solomon. I mean, it's just a rich history of like men falling victims to, you know, David. I mean, not David. What is his name? The pillar guy, Samson. All of those dudes, they had women issues. You know what I mean?
Adam and Eve.
Yeah, but here, yeah, they have women issues. But what happened? Don't look back. Don't look back. Look back. Poof, gone. Come on, man.
I'm trying to think what happened. I'm trying to think what happened to those women. Well, I think Delilah died. I think she might have been victim.
But here's the thing though. The instruction was given to the man though. That's
true.
Yeah, the instruction was given to him.
Yeah.
So for him to circum her wrath, we do. God ain't give up on them. I mean, shall we have Bible study?
I think the example is that even the best of us can falter. You know?
Listen, we got that. Let's go. You said Samson. Don't cut your hair. Your strip is in your hair. I mean,
it wasn't like he cut it. He woke up. He woke up after some good loving, I guess.
That's what happened. He had succumbed to the wrath.
Exactly.
You got to protect yourself. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You just got to protect yourself.
Right.
And if you are not going to protect yourself and you see that she after you and you go ahead and go that route, come on, man. And speaking to that, I'm going to say this to the fellas as well. When they be talking about some get back and some revenge as a female, because it takes us more, we don't have to just like whip out like y'all could just whip out. We got to take everything off. When women say, and this is just me, I did that for revenge. I did that as get back. No, you did that because you wanted to. Can we just call a spade a spade?
I think the thing when I look at that kind of thing in a relationship, the biggest thing I look at is if revenge causes you to be solid, then was it worth it? You know what I mean? Because they say the best revenge is living a good life. So
yes.
So the best revenge you can have is, hey, I've closed the door on that chapter of my life. I'm moving forward. You know what I mean? Not that I'm gonna stay with you and try to torture you along the way. Because who's really miserable? I had a cousin who worked in the prison, and he said he left the job because he felt like he was locked up. Because technically he was locked in the prison too, you know. I mean,
yeah.
He was there. Granted, he got the lead. Yeah, I mean, granted, he got the lead, but that's how he felt about the lack of freedom of the job or whatever, you know. So, you know, I think the thing is that if you're unhappy, don't think you're getting back at somebody by being their jailer when you can just release yourself.
There you go. That's a good footnote. We're gonna have to take that to the end of the show. That's a good footnote. And you're absolutely right. But my thing is, for me to get back as a female, to get back at somebody who have done me wrong, and to sleep with somebody else, that dude just benefited. I didn't benefit from that. I'm like, man, I got another body count. That's whack. I ain't trying to do that.
Another body.
Yeah, like who's doing? Like, I ain't trying to do that. Get out of here.
Yeah, and it's not a good feeling whatsoever. Even if you didn't do it to get back, if you were, put it this way, duped it because women are weak-fleshed as well as men. And if something like that happens to you, that one of those things, something like that can be life altering. It could change your life because then you will be left with what ifs. And, you know, I recently apologized to someone that sort of thing happened to 28 years ago. And it wasn't like I wanted to. I was coerced by the friend.
Coerced? Explain that.
Okay. We were at
But I
my
mean, tell me,
friend's
you don't have
house,
to go, you don't have to go into the
you
details.
know,
Tell me
and my
about the
friend
four horsemen.
wasn't over there. Okay, well, I was like shocked. I didn't know what was happening. I was called upstairs thinking that we were going to talk about some business or whatever, or something else. And I shouldn't even went upstairs. I should have been like, but you know, I was like, well, maybe they don't want to talk in front of everybody. And it was just like, next thing you know, like touchy-feely, grabby, and boom, we like in a compromising position. I felt like crap afterwards. I just went straight home, jumped, knew that. I was mad at my friend because I was expecting them to show up with their friend and they didn't. So that's why I was like, I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at the friend for even, it was just like, yeah, I felt like that. Okay. And still to this day, when I think about it, it's like, girl, you just don't know what you did.
So wait,
Still,
now you said co-horse though.
it just,
So what is the co-horseman? Where was the co-horseman? Like at some point, why didn't you stop? Or was something else, mind altering
just,
substances played a part? Like talk to me. Help me to understand.
just the actions that happened. I should have walked away, but I was weak at that moment.
Now, why were you
But
weak
yeah,
at that moment?
listen. Ooh, child.
Now, why were you weak at that
Ooh,
moment?
Lord.
I mean, you look like you having flashbacks.
Listen, yeah, because Lord, that just. But I felt like crap
Afterwards, you felt like crap afterwards. But did you want to do it?
At first, no, but then after a while, just kept getting touchy feeling. You know, somebody keep kissing on your neck and doing stuff. You be like, after a while, you like, yeah, it was one of them. But afterwards, I felt crazy. Like,
so there.
Do that.
Okay, so to my point, you wanted to do it. You like, okay, here you go. And you afterwards you felt bad about it, but the whole kissing thing you could have stopped it.
Yeah, I should, and like I even played it in my mind when I was going home. Girl, you should have walked out. You should have walked out that room. You should have walked out that room. Why didn't you walk out that room? And I just kept beating myself up about it. And you're right. I had the choice to walk out of that room. And but for friend to go back and they're still friends, of course, but what kind of friend are you knowing that your boy was like in this?
When so he went back and told his friend. So he told his friend.
Child, quicker than you could. All hell broke loose.
So do you think that it was intentional? Do you think that was kind of intentional?
He came
to say,
and
let
both
me show
the
you
friends
what your girl
came.
about?
All hell broke loose. I guess so. I don't know why. Why would you even choose? Why would you? I don't know what the thinking was and behind that. I have no idea. But yeah.
And those two are still friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course. You know what?
Yeah.
I had to let go of it. I'm still friends with them. And I let go because, like I said, and like I recently apologized to him, and I told him, I said, because I mean, he was wrong. I was wrong. I could have walked away. At first, I did resist, but then after a while, I was like, okay, in the world. And to carry that around with you for as long as I have, that is the worst feeling in the world. And it's just like, yeah. But yeah, I recently apologized, like within the last year, I like had a talk with that person and really apologized to him. And he was like, wow. He was like, he was shocked. He was like, well, thank you for your apology. But he was completely shocked that I'd even went that far to apologize 28 years later. Yeah, because it still bothers me.
Okay. What's your thoughts on that, Roogle?
I don't, it's a lot of moving pieces in there. I mean, a whole bunch, you know, so I'm just going to leave her interpretation of what happened to what it was, because it's a lot of stuff, you know.
Do guys actually like tell, I want to know the secret? Do they say, okay, well, let me see if this girl is really for him, and it?
I personally, I think the thing is if I have to, there's other ways to find. You don't. If someone's not for you, you don't have to do too much. You don't have to entrap somebody to see if they're for you or not for you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is like, what is being, like, when we talk about relationships and we talk about friendships and we talk about loyalty and all those things, I think those things are on the spectrum and they're layered in different ways on how we perceive ourselves in that point in time, right? So if you're talking about a person that's like 19, 20 years old or something like that fact, where they're figuring themselves out, they may, the loyalty, you're still in a situation where you're still viewing life egocentrically, you know, from your perspective. And you might not be in a situation where you have undying gratitude towards a person because you're growing and turning into who you want to be, you know. So I think those kind of things happen. It's like how we receive them, but it's also like what we agree on, what our intent is. What is the intent of us being together versus, you know, are we just like, you know, there's people that meet in college. They meet in college, then they graduate, they go their separate ways or whatever. You know, then there's people who meet in college, they form a commitment, and then they move on from that. And a good example is high school romances. You know, we always look back and we look at the people, they be like, oh, how long have you been married? Oh, we've been married for like 40 years and they're like 60 years old. And you're like, well, how did that happen? Well, we were high school sweethearts, right? And we look at that and it's like, so it's really a rarity. It's a rarity. It's a rarity that you would still be in love with somebody, and not say that you don't love that person to whatever, but all the newness of your life, all the ways that you grow, it removes you sometimes from that person, because now you become more of who you are or who you want to be, and that person may not fit into that. Not that person. That person may not fit into that ideology of who you want to be, but you grow, and so when you grow, like if you're like in the Bible, they talk about the new wine in the old skin. You know, you need a new wine bag or whatever because it expands and everything like that. If you use an old one, it busts and all that stuff. So, you know, I mean, with new thoughts, new experiences, new framework on who you are and who that person has become could either bring you together or separate you. You know, so I don't know if it's so much. I think it's really about the intent of the relationship based off of where you are in your development, you know?
Okay.
I thought he was going to get mad at his friend. He didn't get mad at his friend. Everybody got mad at me. But get this.
Well,
several years later, the other friend did the same thing to him with another female. Did they get mad at that female like they got mad at me? No.
But the problem, the thing is there.
Wait, Nick, go ahead.
Mad at the other friend.
Okay, go ahead, Roogle.
The thing I take from that is that if it's one friend who's always getting another friend to test the other friend's woman's loyalty, then what's wrong with that man's insecurity, and why haven't they not broken? Because the thing is, his friend is like, hey, you want me to try to hit these girls, and they hit it, and they take the bait. I'm cool with you still, and I get to have whatever comes from it. the friend who's posing that this should even happen is the insecure man. You know what I mean? I mean, because you like I said, there's plenty of other signs you could tell about if a person's going to if there's going to be that loyalty in a relationship. And it doesn't have to be the fact. You can just flat out ask a person, what is your intent with me?
Right.
You ain't got to have somebody go in there and do a secret shopper. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what it sounds like. You know, you ain't got to do all that. You can tell in the words they say. You can tell in how they portray you in other relationships. You can tell on how they treat you. But you also got to know what your standard is. And if these things are going below your standard, then you need to know that this is not where I need to be. And if a person is that insecure about a relationship with somebody, they should take it upon themselves to walk away. You know, because when we say insecurity, we always use it like, well, it's really not happening. You're just insecure. But really, when we think about security, we have security, right? Insecurity means there's been a threat. There's been somebody who's breached the gates. There's been someone who's stolen the goods. You know what I mean? So when we look at that point of view, like if it's a legitimate reason for people not to be together, then don't hang on, move on.
Right.
And if he felt that way, like it sounds like to me, it just really sounds really sick. I don't think I would not tell one of my friends to go and do such a thing just because for them to follow through with it would be more devastating, I think, for me than to see if that person was truly there, because that friend knew how I felt. That friend knew I felt uneasy about this situation, but uneasy enough to be able to express to them that I need help defining what this relationship is. And that person could have pulled the plug and be like, hey, you ain't no good. You kiss me when you should be with my friend. It shouldn't have to go to sex. Right?
I agree with you. And ain't no way that I'd be cool with somebody, you know, guys, you know, y'all got a different code, but I'm not, you sleeping with all my people. Like, get out of here.
I don't roll with that code. I'm a Ronin. My code is my
listen.
I heard that.
Your friend might be listening to the show.
But you know what that friend is, you know, I know. All the time. Maybe they could get some help from this.
I mean, hopefully so, because I mean like I think about relationships I had, and I think about like when those women would come to me and tell me, oh, this dude tried to holler at me, and this dude tried to holler at me, and he know. You know what I'm saying?
That's foul.
That's foul. But the thing is that I didn't have to explore. I didn't have to put a prop in place to figure out where that loyalty lied, because if she chooses to tell me, then that's what's up. If she chooses to lie about it, then that's what's up too. The thing is what do I know the ultimate truth about it? And that's not like passing any kind of like judgment on somebody without proof. But if you feel a certain way, if you feel like this person is not for you, you cannot struggle with that person to stay with you, because the relationship is never going to be what you want it to be.
Well said.
Right. And I really just still don't understand why that even took place in the first place, because I definitely didn't give the other person until then a reason to think that I was not loyal, because I very much so was.
But the thing is, though, you know, you never know. You think about it like this: it's two guys, and the one guy is always insecure, and the other guy is always checking about the insecurity, right? So is that guy really his friend if he's willing to like even come on to these women to prove that point? Because true friendship would align yourself with honesty. You see what I'm saying? So how can I be a true friend if I'm willing to be dishonest if I'm willing to be unhonest with affairs at the heart?
Right.
You know, I don't see how that can be. I don't see how I can say, yeah, man, you was right. Me and you cool because I did the deed with your girl.
And
What?
they've been rocking strong
It,
ever since.
it is. I
You
don't
know,
know.
they got mad at the other friend when he did the same thing. They didn't get mad at the girl. They got mad at the other friend and didn't speak to him for a while.
Yeah.
But they
Oh,
got friends. But my thing is, they've been rocking since. Girl,
Well,
yeah,
but I wonder what's happened with all the other stories. Like
exactly,
these are only two, but what's come out of the other thing? You know, like
exactly. Kind of make you wonder.
you
yeah.
know what it
Because
make me wonder?
I
This
assume.
is what it makes me wonder. Is it like y'all be having threesomes? Like how y'all still cool? Like that's where I'm going.
That a
And you know, my ignorant self,
a.
I will ask one of them.
But that makes you
You know,
wonder, like,
I'll
now
ask.
y'all still, here's the thing.
Yeah,
Okay, y'all still cool. And now you're mad at this girl, and then you continue to do it. It makes me wonder, like, do y'all be having threesomes? Like, what's really going on? What kind of relationship do y'all have?
It sounds kind of weird to me. I didn't want to step out there and say that, but I will say there is that old adage they say bros before, and you can finish the rest of that. But the thing is, it has a little bit of craziness to it.
Mm-hmm.
I would, like, again, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because you will know if somebody's cheating. And then the thing is, why is it that he always has this person deployed? Does he feel like this person is better than him? You know what I mean? Like, you sending out this guy to try to allure your women. Do you feel like this person is more attractive than you? Do you feel like what is it that would make you do that thing? Like, I don't like, the whole thing seems very perverse to me, but that's just my opinion.
Okay,
ooh,
well,
I don't know how we got on that subject.
I know how we did because I got on the next. Let's move to the next topic. Let's talk about Smokey Norfolk. Smokey Norfolk, the gospel singer, and that picture that just like broke the internet. Go ahead, Nick. You want to go ahead and cover that story?
Yes, I guess it was a picture that he had taken Thanksgiving night after they had, few family members over. It's a picture of him sitting up against his couch, and his 16-year-old son was laying on him sleep. He took the selfie, and then he posted about, the love for his son, and he like, it feels good as a father to still have your 16-year-old child, that one. Can't remember exactly what was said, but people have been, he posted it on Twitter, people have been going in left and right. I mean, calling him gay, calling the son gay, saying that, having homophobic things going on. But then you have some other people, some men have also chimed in and said that is something that a lot of them wish their child would do. And then some people said there should be more fathers like that. If we have more fathers like that in the world, that is susceptible to loving on their child, even though he's that age. So it's like, yeah, I
Okay.
need to.
Oh, okay. So for those, let me give a little clarity for those who may be a little confused. There was a photo of Smokey Norfolk and his 16-year-old son. There was a selfie. His 16-year-old son was laying on his chest. Some people felt as though that it was inappropriate. So my question to the listening audience and my lovely co-host,
You just
is
you cut
is
out.
is that an inappropriate photo to have, you're a male, a father, your son lying on your chest at the age of 16, or is it not? Is it appropriate or not? Let me know. What's your thoughts? Roogle.
I mean, to me, it's no different. It's really no different from a 16-year-old female laying up on her mother.
Okay, so
really
a
isn't
16-year-old
because
female laying on her mother's chest is okay?
nobody would have an issue with that.
Okay, so you said no one will have an issue with that.
Nobody would have an issue with that. But
Okay,
because it's an issue about that as
Is
well.
she frozen? She over here giving everybody the side eye.
go ahead, Roogle. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm trying to find the picture, and I can't, like, it don't look like he got all these pictures are like little boys or whatever.
He probably took it down because some people felt the way that they felt. Some people felt that it was gay. I just think, you know what I mean? If your son, like, what if your child is crying?
I mean, but the thing is, I mean,
if your child is crying,
right,
I need to
and you're trying to console them,
and you're trying to console them, what's the issue?
to make it. But he ain't. I mean, I need to see the picture because I can't visualize what this picture looks like. Because when I hear
this picture looks like you laying back on the couch and your son just laying on your chest.
Like a date or something?
No, like sleeping, like a baby. Like a baby, you lay a baby on your chest, but he's 16.
sleep.
It was like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm trying to think. When my son was very young, very, very young, you know, like I would watch
Thanksgiving dinner.
TV or whatever. I would lay on the floor.
You would lay on the floor and what?
And then I don't like they watched the football game and dozed off picture.
No, it's
right.
Like
he was saying his 16-year-old son. He was sitting there, and his 16-year-old son came over there.
It's like a Thanksgiving. Like a Thanksgiving. You know how you kick back in a recliner or something, and then a baby might climb up in the recliner and lay on your chest to go to sleep. But this baby is 16.
Well, let me ask you this. Was him and his 16-year-old son in a recliner together or on the couch?
On the couch. But he was, so if you lean back in that recliner, if you lean back in that recliner and your 16-year-old son came back, just like that, yes. And then your 16-year-old son comes to lay on your chest. Yes.
It's set on my lap.
It's sat on your lap and laid on your chest.
I don't know if it's gay, but it's soft as shit, bro. Hey, I won't say it's gay, but it is soft. It's softer than mug, though. I mean, like, it's soft as funeral music. That's all I'm saying.
You know what?
Like that.
But I mean, and that's the thing, though.
As big as he is, he might have been on his knees. He might have been on his knees and laid on his dad's chest.
And laid on his chest, right? But the thing is, like I said, people are finding issue with it because it's a man with a 16-year-old son, but nobody would find an issue with it if it was a woman and her 16-year-old daughter was laying across her chest. Oh, a mother's love, this and that, da da da. The same thing. Some people will find an issue if it was a man with his 16-year-old daughter laying across the chest. But some men are just.
It would be an issue.
He don't care how old his kids are. If you want to hug it, he gonna hug and kiss you regardless because you are his and he is your protector. Period. That's how my brother is, and I know a lot of men like that.
Now here's the thing: you brought up a good point. Because if it wasn't Smokey Norfolk and it was Mrs. Norfolk laid up in a chair, and that was her 16-year-old son laying on her chest, it would have been okay. If it was the opposite, if it was Smokey Norfolk and a daughter laying on his chest, that would say that was inappropriate. Because why is she doing it? So
I gotta see the picture. Because I don't know if it's. See, I don't know, man. I'm not raised in a family of huggers. Like, we ain't huggies, kind of like, I mean, it's a point in time. But like I remember, like, when my son was like single digits and stuff like that, we would watch Smallville was a show we used to watch. You know, we eat some dinner, sit there, whatever. You know that. You know, but as he got older, I mean, it's just certain things you don't. In my opinion, I wouldn't do, like if like that kid clearly went through, has either gone through puberty or on the brink of it, and at that point in time, he don't, I just think that I don't know, and the thing is, don't get me wrong, I could be totally blind to like, how do you instill masculinity? I don't know, you know what I mean? But coming from like, I never been a touchy-feely kind of person and that sort of thing, to this day, like since my kid was a little kid, I can tell you the one time that I hugged him, probably from the time that he was like 10 to now.
Okay.
I mean, like a hug, like jubilation was when and it's funny because it has something to do with sports, right? But he ended up winning this. He won the match that won the tournament. That was the coach's 250th victory, and everybody went crazy. Like hold on for a minute. I'm about to show you the picture.
Okay. Look, they took a picture of the hugger. One of the listeners said that.
Oh, no, this is
okay.
This is my
good.
son who had the victory.
Great.
So
okay.
How could I not hug him? He's a champion. He's a man.
Right.
He's a man's man. He's a woman's man. Everybody, he's a man for everybody.
I will say one of the listeners actually commented and said that that's his father, and he laid on his father's chest until he was 23 years old. He said that they're a very close-knit family, and they're a family of huggers, cuddlers, and kissers. So one of the listeners said that their family is very huggy. Roogle, you said that your family wasn't huggy.
Has not taken.
Nah, but I mean, we was close knit. You come at one of us, you came at all of us. You know what I mean? But it ain't.
Everybody allowed for a hug. You give one hug, you got to give everybody a hug.
No, I was saying, like, if you came talking stuff to one of us, you talk stuff to all of us. You know what I mean? That was.
So if you come giving hugs to one, you got to give hugs to all, right?
Yeah, that happens too, but I think it's a time and a place for it. We ain't just random huggers. Like, you got to live out of town and all that kind of stuff. Got to be at the family reunion or the funeral or the wedding. You ain't just running around hugging somebody on a Tuesday. I mean, unless it's Ruby Tuesday. I don't know.
Yes.
Hey,
yes, some people. Look at that. It's 12 o'clock siren. Our time running out. And we still on here. Look, our time running out. We still up on this mug. You hear the sirens, 12 o'clock sirens mean get off. It's time to go. But there are people, I don't think there's anything wrong with man, the siren is going, it's extra long today. Go ahead.
Again, I mean, I don't know if anything's wrong with it, but I just kind of feel like, I don't know. It's just one of those things, like, I'm trying to okay.
Now I know the 12 o'clock siren is not
Joseph and Isaac in the Bible. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. I just, if this picture is causing this much controversy, I would like to make a judgment call after looking at the picture, because I think the thing is that we have people who may look at it who have toxic masculinity issues or whatever. And then we have things like how much, what's appropriate. I don't know. What's appropriate, because I kind of feel like, myself, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I would say that a father who doesn't do that doesn't love his kid as much as the other person, because that hug or that cuddling could be them crouched under a car hood, working on an engine or building a house or planting a garden or doing whatever they bond at, Like,
okay, you see the 12 o'clock siren keep going. I'm like,
I talked to my son countless for hours about like things about. You said it's time to go off, or is it just the sirens going
siren.
off?
That's
Oh,
the
maybe you
12
had a
o'clock
tornado.
siren, you know, because we do the show from 10 to 12. But I'm like, oh my gosh, it's still ringing. Like, stop already. Is something going on that we don't know about? Like,
Right.
Might be.
Right, because it just
Maybe in
keeps
danger.
going, it keeps going, it keeps going. I will say that, and then we're gonna wrap this up. I would say that that photo, I want you to see that photo. I'll send it to you, and I'll post it up on the website as well. That particular photo to me is equivalent to climbing in the bed next to your parent. You know what I mean? Like you could be in, you know, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go get in my parents' bed. I just need to lay here. I'm dealing with something, or I want to be next to them. And they're making a big fuss of it. That's just my thing.
Right.
All right,
I
real
told
quick.
you I was 40-something years old. Still
Okay,
crawling
real
in the
quick.
bed
Let's
with
hurry
my
up and
mama.
touch on Noah. Let's touch on Noah Cyrus. Noah Cyrus, Miley Cyrus's little sister, who called Candace Owens a nappy head, and then she came back and wanted to apologize. Real quick, go ahead, Nick. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, she was directing it towards Candace Owens, but she said, y'all, you nappy head hoes.
Oh,
Meaning, yeah,
oh,
you nappy head hoes, even though she was directing the comment towards Candace Owens about something Candace Owens had said on somebody's Twitter, a guy's Twitter, about some dress that he wore.
okay.
And she said, you nappy head hoes are mad because he I forgot the guy's name, wear it better than you or something. Okay, you nappy head hoes. I know you was calling yourself commenting to her, but who was you including in that nappy head hoes comment? Don't nobody care about Candace Owens. But the simple fact is, you talking about nappy head hoes, you were addressing Black queens, period. Now, Candace is still questionable. I'm sorry. And there's mixed reviews for Black folks on that. Candace want to be white anyway, so we don't care. And it's just the fact that she like, if you nappy head hoes could it was something she said about you mad because you could never rock that or something. She said, but yeah, you
Okay,
nappy
so,
head hoes, honey. Where you get that from? You knew
okay, well, let me say what she actually said, that this is from Noah Cyrus, allegedly. I seen it in an article. And she said that she was mortified after. Now, Noah, the one who made the racist comment, okay, said she was mortified after using the racist language. Why are you mortified after you used it?
Because somebody told her, hey, that's racist as shit.
Yeah.
That's why she was mortified. Like, I did
Basically.
what? I had no idea. I had no idea at all. You mean
you old enough to know,
they don't
Heifer, you knew
themselves
what
as
you
nappies?
said. That Heifer knew what she said. She old enough to know better. She said what she meant, and she meant what she said.
I think yeah.
Okay, wait a minute, go ahead.
Decided to apologize.
Wait a minute, wait. We got to talk one at a time because you'll cut the person off, okay? So go ahead, Nick. You said what?
She said what she meant. She meant what she said. She only got mortified after probably a couple people went on, and because now in the days of Karen and everything else, Black folks ain't being quiet about stuff, and honey, you lose your job, you lose your paper, and behind being racist.
Okay, go
That's
ahead.
why she's mortified now, because
okay.
she thought about
But did she have a career?
Go ahead. What's your point?
All we know is that she's I never heard of her until this happened. Does she have a career? Like all she is an heiress to like a country family, a country singing family. And I think that's the one.
She's supposedly
singing. She's supposedly singing. Okay, she doing that. She doing the Ashley Simpson kind of thing. If you remember that, Ashley Simpson. Okay, but the first thing is this: is like y'all family started off in country singing, so you should know of any. I mean, I'm not saying that all country singers are racist. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying sometimes that culture that is in, Confederate flags, all that kind of stuff, the South, whatever, they understand what those epitaphs are, those that race's language is, you know. And I just kind of feel that because from what I saw on the report was that Candace Owens said something about we need to bring back masculinity to our men or something to that effect. And then a dude from One Direction had took a picture with like a powder blue suit and a banana. I ain't see his picture, and he commented to her, and she was following up with the One Direction guy, and she said what she said. The issue with it is that like this. First of all, she should have just fell back because nobody cared about her opinion at all. You know, I think you got to know when to not say anything. The other thing is that if you're gonna talk bad about this woman, you pick something that was unrelated to what she said. She could have been like, well, you seem like you're homophobic. You seem like you're like you're this phobic or this whatever, instead of attacking her for what you perceive her appearance to be. Right? You're not attacking her when she said nappy-headed hoes. You're attacking her not on her character, but on how you perceive her to be. And I don't know if she got a perm. I don't know if she got a dreadlocks. I've never seen the lady. I don't even know what she looked like. But the point I'm saying is you attacked her physical appearance versus her integrity.
Now,
and there's the.
And it is a problem. Now, do you remember some years ago we was on radio and we were talking about who was it? Was it Howard Stern? I want to make sure I got the right.
No, I think his first name was Don Imus. Don Imus.
Oh, I'm sorry, Howard Stern. That called the basketball team. The nappy. Remember that?
He called the Rutgers women's basketball team. He's like, them some rough looking women. There's some rough looking nappy headed hoes.
Right. And see, that's why I said she got it.
It's off limits already. You know what I mean? He got fired. I think he's dead now. I think he might have died, but yeah.
Sorry, Howard. Look, I knew it was somebody long time ago when we were on.
Well, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was long ago, but not.
What was that, 5 years ago?
She should never. Huh?
I said, what was that?
No,
like
it was more than that. But the point was that the point is that this privileged white woman should never say the word nappy. She shouldn't even say the word nap. She should say I need rest.
I need rest. Don't even say nap, right?
Don't even say nap. Say I need a rest. I have to just calm myself and get back into being me.
And this Noah, for those of you who don't know who Noah Cyrus is, that is Billy Ray Cyrus's daughter and Miley Cyrus's little sister. Still don't know her, but girl, bye. Girl, bye.
Yeah.
Roogle!
But it's
go ahead. What'd you have to say?
I was gonna say it's just the same. It's just the same when I heard about this, it reminded me of when Kelly is her name Kelly Osbourne or Amy Osbourne? Kelly Osbourne. When she was attacking Trump. Remember she was attacking Trump and she sells. And like everybody on the View had to correct her. Like, what the hell is what is you trying to say?
Oh, not Kelly, the mama, Sharon.
No, that wasn't Sharon. I don't think it was the mama. I think it was the daughter. It was.
Oh, the daughter was on there. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the mom, yeah, it was the daughter who said because she had the funny looking purple blue hair, whatever it was.
Kelly.
Yeah, and then people came out again. She was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that." And the thing is that sometimes our allies get out of pocket. And some things they just need to say, hey, I do not agree with you. That's enough. Right. You need to say, I do not agree with you. And that's it. But when you start throwing in different people's races and stuff, like if you gonna go and say some shit like that, sorry, I know I cussed, I apologize. But I would want to know what their litmus test is on even knowing Black history.
Right.
You know, so in about a month and a half, we better see her at a Martin Luther King event, because if she ain't out, she gonna be canceled. Period.
Off the hook. Now y'all heard it already. We got to show this. Look, we got a program to follow. Roogle, what's happening in the world?
Man, right now it's a little bit of standstill. The biggest thing that's going on right now is just waiting on and seeing what happens with HBO Max and its release of Wonder Woman 1984, which will drop on Christmas Day. I know we talked a lot about this, but the importance of it is that the industry is really resting on what direction they go pending the results of this, because if that happens, remember all the properties that Disney has that it hasn't released. Now it did release Mulan earlier in the year, and they've seen some favorable results with that. And what we've also seen with the big streaming companies is that they are also purchasing properties as well to put out to the world. So we see this happening. But I will say, from a personal experience, I was invited to a theater where it was rented out. The whole theater was rented out, and we watched a movie. And I went, and I believe this or not, I came late and I bought popcorn. So I pulled a Mel Ross.
Ooh, all righty then.
You know what I mean? Hey, the shade is real, right? But I will tell you like this: even though I knew everybody in the theater, I still felt a little weird, but it felt a little comfortable because I trusted the other people that they were working just as hard as I was not to spread or contract the coronavirus. So I mean, but the thing was, it was fairly inexpensive that I would think to have a whole movie theater. It was like somewhere by maybe $150. I thought that was, want to do that. But when I become a baller, I might just rent out a theater or two. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. The other thing is really where it's at with the streaming. What I've been really doing a whole bunch of watching of is The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. They just introduced a live action character of Ahsoka. I think we talked about it last week. It is played by Rosario Dawson. It was great. It was excellent. Like what's going. I mean, it's. Man, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, they're doing some amazing work. Now, there's another show that I watched, and I'm not really sure. It's called Wayne, and it was on. You remember YouTube Red, when YouTube tried to get people to pay for a subscription to their to YouTube to watch some premium programming and stuff like that, like Cobra Kai, which was a spinoff of Karate Kid, that was on there. So this Wayne show, really good show, like 22-minute, 25-minute episodes, burned through like 10 episodes in one night, right? But basically what it is a kid from Boston who is really staunch in his beliefs of justice, and he's trying to overcome life obstacles and stay true to who he is. It's a really fun watch, and it's not a bad one at all. It's called Wayne. I believe it may be streaming on. It might be on Prime.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what's out there, and we're just kind of right now. I'm just trying to go back and watch some other stuff that I didn't see. So I did go and I watched Tyler Perry's Acrimony, starring Taraji P. Henson, and.
Okay, go ahead. Real quick, thumbs up or thumbs down. Acrimony. It's better. It's better than. I mean, it's so many plot holes in it, and it's like it's this veil of mystery. Not even mystery. It's just like it's a veil of mystery about. It's not even a veil of mystery. It's just like I don't understand how we got to these particular points and why the characters are acting in this certain way. And he's very good at leaving out. He's so late on it.
I'm late on
it. Oh, listen, I was never in life going to watch it. I was never in life going to watch it until like my sister said you should check it out. Huh?
How did you end up watching it?
Because my sister told me to watch it.
Well, that's a good sister.
One of my sisters, we watched, I forgot what Tyler Perry. Oh, we watched, what's the Tyler Perry movie with Juicy Smollett's sister?
Temptation, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor.
Oh, is
that
that the
was
name of it?
good.
Okay.
Yeah, Temptation.
I came over her house and we was watching the end of that, and we were just talking about the breakdown of it. I was like, I think this is the only Tyler Perry movie that he actually made itself, where like the woman who was the because really she was the antagonist. She did everything wrong in that, right? Where the antagonist turned out to have like some sort of long-term punishment. Because when we see Why Did I Get Married To, Janet Jackson clearly killed Malik Oba. She clearly killed him. And like she gets rewarded with a whole new man at the end of the movie. Why this dude in the casket? Right? How'd that work? So when we had that conversation, she said, well, it's another movie that ends up bad for a woman and you need to watch it, right? And I said, well, what is it? Acrimony. So I watched it and I was like, it just don't make sense. It's like it was his attempt to be able to make Fatal Attraction without like without the like true. It didn't what he did didn't truly define her as being that person. Now I know in the beginning she knocks over the motorhome or whatever, which I was laughing at. I cracked up about it. And I even cracked up more about the injury that they said that she had. Oh, I had internal bleeding from the. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. I'll buy it for $1. But I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. It is 2 years old, but it was even how the guy was portrayed. It was this kind of weird, like it was a weird. It was not. I mean, he did some things wrong, in the beginning. But the whole thing, the guy who was, it was like he tried to take Fatal Attraction, he tried to take The Pursuit of Happiness and mash them into one movie.
Okay. Well, listen, that is our time, and I want you, Roogle, to give us today's footnote.
I don't even know. I don't remember what I said.
Come on with it. This will
because I say so many brilliant things all the time.
Go ahead. Last words. Go with it.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Good one. Go ahead, Nick. Last words. Any advice you give to the listening audience?
Last words. We don't take everything that you see as a negative.
Very good. All right, lovely people.
Like,
that is my time.
This thing was
enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday. Find you, embrace you, most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people.